Hey, what's up, guys? Welcome to another podcast. Today I'm going to be reviewing. Sorry, that was kind of messed up intro, but today we're going to be reviewing Miss Marvel Episode 1. And Miss Marvel Episode 1 was definitely, I would say, a love letter to fanboys who love theorizing and hypothesizing about, certain aspects of the Marvel Universe, as well as some fun ideas that are thrown around that I can only expect from the creative minds behind behind Marvel Studios, pretty much. So essentially, they're putting themselves in a place, in a perspective where they're the fans, and granted that they are kind of like these award-winning writers and all that stuff. Their ideas are great, and I don't know why I'm mainly talking about that, but as a fanboy and also as a writer myself, these things are the things that I tend to focus on. So I'm going to get off that topic now, and I'm just going to talk about the episode itself. So essentially, Miss Marvel Episode 1 is about kind of Kamala discovering this kind of, not amulet, this kind of heirloom. I would say it's like a bracelet. I know in the comics, her powers are kind of from the fact that she's an Inhuman. And I'm not necessarily throwing that out the window just yet, because there are kind of fan theories that are stating that this thing is essentially kind of like a remnant of like the Terrigen Mist or something like that, and I kind of like that idea. I don't know, I'm into far-fetched ideas. Like, most fans out there are kind of not into that kind of thing, but I am. So as I was saying, so basically Kamala's journey starts off with her being in this family, this dynamic with her mom being very overbearing, and so she kind of has to go behind her back to do things like to sneak into like Avengers Con, which is like this thing that this in-universe event where it's like Comic-Con but for Avengers, pretty much. And when she's there, she enters this costume contest for Captain Marvel because, like in the comics, she's a big fan of Captain Marvel. And she has his best friend and everything who kind of helps her out. And last minute, like when she's about to go on stage, she puts on the bracelet because she's been having trouble putting on the bracelet, but she's able to put it on like last minute, right before she enters. And, she kind of gets transported into like this plane of existence. I don't know if it's a parallel dimension or like a cosmic kind of anomaly or something like that. And she gets reverted back to reality. And after that, it kind of activates her powers. So it causes a whole bunch of chaos. Like, people just think of it as like kind of this light show, but it's like a physical thing. Like, think Green Lantern. I know a lot of fans are triggered that this is the way her powers work, but to be honest, I don't hate it. It's not the worst. I think it was handled very well. And essentially causes chaos. It takes off like the head from this Ant-Man statue, and like with this giant Thor's hammer. I don't know why, like how it's so heavy, but it swings back and forth and it knocks this girl back, and she saves this girl essentially. And this girl actually has a backstory with her. I don't know if they used to be best friends, but they had like a falling out or something like that. And essentially Kamala saves her. And that's kind of pretty much the whole episode, like, in a nutshell. I didn't really talk about everything. You should watch it just for the sake of, to get the whole experience and to get a better understanding, because I'm not sure if I, talked about it properly. But essentially, this episode has done well in Rotten Tomatoes, and also it has done quite well in like the audience reviews lately. But to me personally, I did enjoy it. I love the tone. There are a lot of think of this as like kind of the Into the Spider-Verse from Marvel Studios, because Into the Spider-Verse was kind of like this almost satirical, it had satirical elements that made fun of like its predecessors, like emo Peter Parker, and when Peter B. Parker was dancing, and certain things as well. And the thing I like, this was like this cross-universe reference that I don't know if anybody got, but there was a scene where Kamala was walking through the halls, and she was trying to get through to her locker, but the people weren't moving, like, essentially. This kind of, I don't know if they did it on purpose. I really hope they did, but this reminded me essentially of that scene in Amazing Spider-Man. Yeah, I know, going way back to 10 years ago. Amazing Spider-Man 1. Peter Parker was trying to get through the locker, but these two kids were like making out, and it kind of reminded me of that one scene. Like, to me, I don't know. I really hope that that's what they were doing. And like I said, they had a lot of ideas. Like, her and her friend were talking about like these cosplay ideas, and they were talking about like mixing like these characters, like I think Captain Strange Marvel, or something like that. They were like combining like these characters, which is something like a very nerdy thing to do, because you know, if you go on Instagram, like these very talented artists do all these pieces depicting those kinds of amalgamations, which I think was a very nice touch. But yeah, overall, like, people are saying that it feels like a Disney show, but to me, it doesn't really feel like a Disney show. It just feels like a coming of age story. It almost feels like what I would expected Spider-Man to be, because Spider-Man: Homecoming was completely different from what I expected when it initially came out. Um, and funnily, I don't know if that's a word. Funny enough, that's what I saw here. So what I expected Peter Parker to be was Kamala. Was essentially became projected into Kamala Khan and her story, which is what I love, because that was essentially what I was looking forward to, like this character who's like a fan, and how she would handle having powers, and joining this this world of superheroes. That's what I expected Peter Parker to be, because I think Peter Parker is more of like this, like, oh, okay, I'm here, I'm still, I'm cool though. Like, I'm trying, like, Peter Parker, that's his character, he tries very hard to be cool, even though he's nerdy. But Kamala's just 100% herself, which is something I very much enjoyed. So yeah, dude, like, I loved it, dude. It's so far, it's, Moon Knight, it's elevating in my level of enjoyment, from Moon Knight to Miss Marvel. I think that it's my interest in Marvel Cinematic Universe is definitely getting back into to what it once was. And I'm excited for. Oh, and also, spoiler alert, that guy from that cop or detective from Spider-Man Homecoming, No Way Home, is in this. He's in like a mid-credits scene. I'm not gonna talk about what it was. Just watch it. But yeah, overall, the episode, I don't really give ratings on this channel. I just like to talk about like these episodes, like, in my own style, like reviewing. To me, reviewing is the same thing as essentially just talking about it and having you guys kind of decide for yourself if you want to watch it. That to me, is how I do things here. And yeah, if you guys enjoy this, please leave a like and subscribe. Or if you're catching me on any of your podcast streaming platforms, leave a follow. And yeah, thank you so much for stopping by, and have an awesome day.